XRP holders, welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. I know at this point it seems like, every single day, we're hearing a lot of positive news, and it is a reality, and I try my best to bring you guys these updates and make you guys understand what this means and not really complex things, because some of these terminologies can be thrown around, but you really want to understand what this really means here. And we talk about a revolution, we talk about generational moment, in the financial industry. It is a reality, and we're going to get into that. But let's take a look at the broader market. If you're looking at the last 1 hour, as of recording this update, we're about to see the daily candle close happen, and we are starting to see the market moving up, and that is due to Bitcoin. Bitcoin did see a bounce, back above 108,000, which of course is having an impact on the altcoin market in a positive way. But of course, just a continuous reminder, if you're looking at it on the 24-hour scale, we are still seeing quite a bit of retracement around the crypto space, and that is due to some of the news that we heard today, especially regarding the tariffs. But let's get right into the topic, then we'll talk about the price at the end. But before we do that, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So next Monday, July 14th, 2025, and I know a lot of people are probably wondering what in the world is going to be happening on July the 14th. So if you guys don't know, the ISO 20022 will be implemented July 14th for the FedWire fund services. So, the US Federal Reserve FedWire will be officially switching to the ISO standard, and obviously leaving the SWIFT old system in, the back days, and just kind of forgetting about it. So how does this impact XRP? Now, you guys might be asking that, and that's a great question to be asking. So look at this. ISO 20022 coins, XRP, remember XRP, it's not connected. It's definitely not connected to ISO, but you need to understand this. Now, how does Ripple really work in this? I'll give you guys an example. So I'm sure you guys know about RippleNet. RippleNet is a platform, obviously developed by Ripple, of course, that helps transfer, funds, from bank to bank, financial institution to financial institution, P2P, whatever you want to say. But where does this really have an impact? How is this revolutionary? Before, banks didn't really have that direct connection, like in a way to really interconnect with these different ISO compliant coins. XRP itself, XRP as a native token, is not obviously, ISO standard. But what I'm trying to get at is RippleNet speaks the same language. So RippleNet, the service thing, of course, speaks with the ISO 20022 standard. So now banks can choose between these different, platforms. So let's say, bank wants to use RippleNet, then, they will be using the on-demand liquidity. That's where XRP, the native token, part comes into play, because XRP, now a lot of questions might be asked, well, if you're sending funds, let's say a bank uses RippleNet to send funds, can they not use RLUSD? Definitely they can. Definitely they can. But when it comes to on-demand liquidity, XRP, the native token, is really, really important. Obviously, it's a part of the system. It needs to be in order for it to work. And over time, of course, XRP does have a small chunk of it being burned. So this is where that utility aspect comes into play. But of course, we're still in the early stages. But you need to understand how much money SWIFT has been using on a day-to-day basis. So obviously, if ISO is the new standard, sky's the limit. And of course, it kind of goes back to what Brad Gerlinghouse has said before, that they are looking to take some percentage of SWIFT's overall daily or yearly volume. I just cannot remember exactly what that was, but I hope I tried to make it easy for you guys to understand. If you want a little bit more in-depth video, let me know in the comments, and I can obviously bring that to you guys. But let's take a look at this. Bitcoin nears 110,000 at spot, 5 billion, and futures 31.2 billion volume hits a year-long lows and continue trending down. Look at this. The Trump administration is expected to release a Bitcoin and crypto policy report around July 22nd per Crypto in America. Some speculate it could include recommendation for a strategic Bitcoin reserve, but nothing confirmed yet. It's starting to look like that the month of July is extremely bullish, and it definitely is. Of course, the FOMC meeting is what a lot of people have their eyes on. If you see a rate cut happening, I think that could be that pivot moment for us to really see that breakout. And speaking about a breakout, you're already starting to see XRP reacting in a really positive way. But now that I think about the ISO, you can really see some of these projects are really starting to climb up. XLM has been doing quite well recently. You're looking at Algorand also picking up. So it makes me think, are the investors or sophisticated investors, to be exact, are they getting ready for this shift to take place? Let me know your personal thoughts down below. So look at this. Yes, in short to medium term, the tokenization of financial assets could lead to efficiency gains in post-trade activities. And this is, of course, in terms of tokenization adoption. And, firms already see benefits of real-world asset tokenization across the value chain. If you really understand, what tokenization is, you understand how this could revolutionize the way we do finance currently. Obviously, there's so many middlemen that it kind of gets rid of, a lot of these other fees that we don't need to really worry about. And it just revolutionize the way we own our assets. And tokenizing anything, it just could be a game changer and give people access to things that they never had access to. Of course, a perfect example of that, Dubai tokenized property that went live. It gave people a chance to own a little bit percentage of it. So now you guys are probably wondering, so what's the whole point? Pretty much now, if you own like let's say a skyscraper, or you own like an apartment, or a penthouse, whatever the case may be, you own a percentage of it. So obviously, if it raises in value, like the market value of that apartment goes up, so does your obviously percentage share that you hold. So that's where tokenization comes into play. And imagine everything being tokenized. It could revolutionize the way we interact on a day-to-day basis. Brad Grillinghouse has come out and said this: I'm honored to be invited to testify in front of the Senate Banking Committee this Wednesday on the need for passing crypto market structure legislation. Thank you, Banking GOP Chairman Tim Scott, Senator Lumens, and Senator Rubin as leaders of the Subcommittee for Digital Assets. Your leadership, both with this hearing and over the years in championing the crypto industry, has been critical to getting us to this important moment. Constructive crypto market structure legislation in the U.S. is important in bringing about a new era of innovation and financial opportunity while protecting consumers. And look at this. This was posted by Riz, of course. This originally was posted by Brad Grillinghouse himself, and how he has this painting or picture in his house. And it's, of course, laugh now, but one day XRP will power the world, and we're already starting to see those effects really showing. But let's take a look at the dominance here. And dominance is still ranging around 65.3%, but Bitcoin is what I want you guys to focus on. Bitcoin did see that bounce, and we are about to close the daily candle above this range at $108,200, which is amazing to see. If this is able to break out, I am personally projecting BTC to reclaim back above pretty much where it was just a day and a half ago. If you're looking at XRP, $2.26, again, XRP is also about to close the daily candle around here. I would have loved to see the price of XRP closing around the $2.30, but it is what it is. The fact that we actually set a $2.35 wick just earlier today gives me more excitement that this wick will fill in sooner rather than later. But we got to take it one step at a time. Thank you for all your support. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.